morning, everyone. I'm Bernadette Abdimaranan from BSC 1-5, and I'm going to discuss social reality of crime and left realism. Objectives. At the end of the discussion, the student should first explain what is social reality of crime, second, define what is crime, third, discuss what is left realism, and fourth, reason for crime under left realism. So let's discuss our first topic, which is social reality of crime. Richard Queen's The Social Reality of Crime remains an elegant and important statement on crime, law, and justice. At the time of its appearance in 1970, Queen's theory not only liberated the field from a recitation of the practices of the police, courts, and corrections, it also represented a marked departure from traditional analysis which view criminal behavior as pathological. Queen's not only advanced criminological thought, he inspired scores of students of crime and criminal justice to reorient their perceptions of the justice system. So, according to my study, the social reality of crimes of the criminological community and inspired a whole generation of individuals to rethink the definition of crime and labels of criminality. The book's popularity immediately made Queenie a criminologist within an international name. What is crime? It is an act or omission punishable by law. Who is Richard Queenie? He theorized the social reality of crime in 1970. His early work examined the different official treatment of white-collar criminals and street criminals. He generalized this concern into a theory of conflict that attempted to explain why some acts are defined and prosecuted as a criminal whereas others are not. In The Social Reality of Crime, 1970, for example, he concluded that the public conception of crime are constructed in the political purposes. He is born on May 16, 1934 in Acorn, Wisconsin, U.S. American. Philosopher and criminologist known for his critical philosophical approach to criminal justice research. Queenie follows a Marxist approach to criminal justice research. Criminal behavior, he asserted, is a natural occurrence in a society that favors the wealthy over the poor and the powerful over the weak. So, let's proceed to our second topic, which is left realism. History of left realism. Since the early 1980s, a number of sociologists have developed a perspective of crime and deviance, usually referred to as left realism. Among the most prominent supporters of this perspective are Jack Young, John Lea, Roger Matthews, and Richard Kinsey. So, the majority of sociologists argued that deviance is socially defined conduct, whereas crime is legally defined as behavior that violates the law. To give an example, if you were going to a funeral, you should have burned black as per pagdadalamhati. Instead, you wear red, which is inappropriate. Lea and Young, 1984, point out that while the apparent chances of being a victim are small, particular groups face high risk. It is not the rich who are the unusual targets of muggers or thieves, but the poor, the deprived, ethnic minorities, or inner city residents. This really draw attention to the fact that the majority of crime victims are people with limited resources who lack the physical strength and knowledge necessary to effectively protect oneself in the face of a criminal. Left realism. Left realism is just one political ideology that focuses on the causes of crime and deviance. Left realists believe that living in a capitalistic society, as in a society where private entities control trade and industry instead of the state, is the main cause of crime. As I've already stated, crime is behavior that is specified by the law, whereas deviance is behavior that deviates from social standards and may be against them. A left-realist is someone who has studied the theory of left-realism, which holds the society's ability to manage its persons' rights even when they are unaware of them is one of the primary causes of crime. So let's proceed to the founders of left-realism. First is Jack Young. Jack Young, one of the most distinguished and groundbreaking criminologists, died on November 16, 2013 at the age of 71. Young leaves behind a legacy of almost 50 years of innovative contributions to the study of sociology of crime and deviance, including radical, critical, and cultural criminology, left realism, moral panics, and social bulimia. John Lea. John Laya is a British left realist criminologist for many years. He was based at the Centre for Criminology and the Crime and Conflict Research Centre, Middlesex University in the United Kingdom. And last, Roger Matthews was a British criminologist who was a professor of criminology at the University of Kent, Canterbury, United Kingdom. Prior to joining the University of Kent, he was a professor of criminology at London Southbank University and Middlesex University. So let's proceed to the reason for crime under left realism. Reason for crime. The first one is narrative deprivation. The rise of a social media has made this factor the front runner for developing a criminal perspective. The concept of relative deprivation also explains the apparent paradox of increasing crime in the context of all increasing wealth society. Dahil sa impluensya ng social media, kahit walang-wala na ang isang tao, natitrigger silang bumili ng isang bagay nang dahil sa ito ay trending o uso. Kahit wala silang pera, kung kaya't napipilitan silang mangutang, kaya kung minsan ito ang rason ng krimen. Second, marginalization. Essentially, this is what happens when groups and demographics of people are left without feeling like they have a voice. So, dito, without public participation, there is no freedom of speech, which is why people commit a crime. For example, a construction worker may seek a raise in pay which is justifiable given the difficulty of the job. They may fall from the structure where they work, and if the engineer or the person assisting them fails to offer medical care, the victims may be the employee's family. Is asking a huge question can make someone feels upset, which can make the violent, which can make them to commit a crime. And lastly, subculture. This is an acceptance resorting to illegal means to attain desires. So, some members of society already view crime, criminal responsibility, and deviance as a way of life. So, that's all. Thank you. Thank you for listening.